probably won't recall, but I was here with Dan in September last year. The video is called Beanfield Deluge. Most of the, I think it's about 40 acres of arable, and I've only got the permission about 3 hours ago. See what we can find with the Vanquish and the 12-inch coil today. As you can see, it's pretty damn hard on the top ground, but as soon as you go down a couple of inches, it's still pretty wet from the very wet winter that we had here. So in Kent, in England, and detecting what was a bean field, I believe, this year. Right, 14. Kind of button territory. Oh, it's bloody hard actually, the ground, but still diggable. Not too deep either. Alright, let's see what it is, shall we? See if I'm right, see if it's a button. I was pointing out to somebody that the more frequencies you have with multi-frequency detectors, the less jumpy the numbers tend to be, so that can be a good thing. It doesn't mean that it goes deeper necessarily, but it can also mean that it can tune out the ground better if you've got more frequencies. And the top detector that Minelab do, this one has 5 frequencies which are cycled simultaneous multi-frequency, and the top of the range model, which at the moment I can't afford, called a Manticore, I think has more than that, so the numbers tend to be more stable. It's worth bearing in mind if you're thinking of buying a detector. You can do the same things with a single frequency detector, but the numbers, the IDs will be less stable. Right, we've got something round, and it is in fact a button, so there you go. Good predictability. It's quite a nice tomback button. It's probably early 1800s, late 1700s. There we go. On to number 2. Alright, no shortage of targets. You had to go for about 3 or 4 minutes before I found this one, and it's a 16, 75% depth. Going up to 18, 16 to 18 on the scale. It's quite a nice signal, although got the impression it's something like aluminium, but I might be wrong. It's giving an off-center target ID. Sorry, an off-center target center. Oh no, completely wrong. It's a coin. So this is the area where I found a couple of Victorian coins last time. The ground's extremely hard. It's quite uncomfortable. There we go. Right, we'll clean that up and I'll bring you on to the other camera. Right, once again, excuse the wind noise. That's quite nice. Target number 2. It's an 1889 Victorian penny. It's about C Britannia there. the shield. Well, hopefully you can anyway. Can't quite see Victoria, unfortunately. Probably a veil head. Alright, holes number 1 and 2. A button from the early 1800s possibly, and a Victoria late 1800s coin. Hole number 3, slightly higher number, 22, max depth. So, could this one be a penny, or could it be, for example, a silver sixpence? I don't recall digging a lot of shotties on this site last year. In the woods, yes, but down below, but not in the field. 25. Right, it's probably something copper. See how deep it is. Oh, unfortunately it's... Oh, well, it's always interesting to find these. That's a 20mm machine gun bullet case. Possibly from an aircraft. Hard to say, really. There you go, 20mm, World War II. Conditions must be good. I'm getting lots of good numbers. This one's a 19. A little bit broken up. I'll let you have a listen. What about the other way? Put the iron tone on. That's 70%. It's a bit iffy, but we'll give it a dig. Right, I think I can see it. I think it's this. Is it that? Piece of lead. Oh, it's a weight though. Still nice. Like a slice of cheese. A wedge-shaped lead weight. Oh, it's got a hole in the top. That's rather nice. It could have some age to it actually. I'll put you on the other camera. Alright, I thought I had a hole in it, but it hasn't. Up the top end, there's something there. It's just a dimple. But there you go, a lead weight. Right, it started at 1:45. It's just gone 1:15 now. This one's a lot lower, this number. 11 at 80% depth. The depth gauge on your detector is a relative thing, so don't read too much into that, but I still account for it in some way or other. So it could be something small, obviously, that's showing deep because it's small. Right, this is quite hard to break up. Alright, it's in that half. In this half. In this half. Ah, something copper again, looks like a tomback. See, that's the depth. Nice sunny day, I can show you things like that today. The soil's not breaking up too much. So, there you go. Tomback button lying vertically, hence the double-edged signature in the sound. That's a broken up tomback button. Again, late 1700s, early 1800s. Only this area is producing a lot more targets than when we last came out, so the conditions obviously have a bearing. I think the stubble was longer last time. This one's a 16. I think that's what it was. No clod there. Oh, it's 18. Probably another button. Yeah, it might be a coin. The ground's hard. You run the risk of scratching stuff, like I did with that lovely Charles coin last time. Oh, this time it's just a shotty. 13. These are usually buttons, but it might be a shotty. It might be a coin, but doubt it. Right, I'm coming back. Right, another off-centre centre. It was here in the hole, not very deep. What is it? Another button by the looks of it. 4-hole button this time. There we go. I think this might have been hops, this part of the permission. It's south facing anyway. It's secluded from the wind. Right, this is quite a broken 24 and 23. Put the iron on, isn't it? It's on the surface, very little iron tone. It might be a tin can. Let's have a look. It's either large or on the surface, one or the other. Sounds like a tin can. Also, it's very hard to pinpoint. Tin cans can do that because they're so thin. Make a funny magnetic field around themselves. Hard to pinpoint. Or is it a coin? Can I see a coin? Can't immediately see anything. What's that? No, that's nothing. Right. Try the old pinpointer. One well off target. Right, it's 24, it's flown out. That's a coin, I can see another Victorian coin. I think this was hops at the time these coins were dropped, this part of the field. Right, can't see anything at all on that one. I suspect it's a Victorian. It's not Georgian anyway, so 1800s, early 1900s. This one's a 23. Not very deep, 50%. I wonder if this one's going to be a silver, given the number of coppers lying around the place. Right, it's in there. Right, it's in this top half. In here, whatever it's going to be. More likely to be something copper. Yeah, it's right in the surface piece. See, that's the top of the ground. Where have you gone? It's dropped out. Right, it's dropped out. Well, if it's 23, it's something small. It's nothing to write home about. It's a washer. It's a copper washer, unfortunately. Right, onwards and upwards. Right, this was an 18 to 22, reckoning on a coin or button for this one. We shall see. It was just there. Just there. Probably a button. Interesting object though. Very interesting. It's a pot leg, I do believe. I'll put you onto the other camera. Nice patina. See, pot leg, heavy old bronze pot leg that. So that could be anything between about 1400 and 1700. Good find. That takes me back another 100 or 2 years. Difficult to fill our holes, but there you can see it's going to be tilled anyway very soon. We do what we can. Well, this one I honestly thought it was deep iron because it was giving quite a strong iron tone along with the non-ferrous. And it's not. In fact, it's a coin, another Victorian coin, penny, I suspect. Not in great shape, unfortunately, so I don't think it's worth putting it onto the other camera. Right, all in the same general area. This one's a 21, so possibly another coin. As I say, I think this was hot picking this area. Just get that impression from the number of buttons in Victorian coins. Alright, it's in here. Oh, another coin. What's it going to be? Halfpenny this time, I think. I'll clean that up for you. There you are, good patina that one, 1948. It's a ship halfpenny. George VI. Oh, there you go. George VI. Sorry, get out of the shadow. The old ship halfpenny, 1948. Oh, focus please. Oh, it's struggling to focus, but there you go. Try my luck a bit closer to the pond, which is over there. You know, may not be able to see, but that's got the number 202 for fairly modern lettering, unfortunately. That piece of copper or bronze. Alright, that badge looks like something colonial. It's got India, Australia and Canada, and a picture, an image of Queen Victoria. I straightened it out a little bit, it didn't break. So it's linked to the British Empire, obviously from the days of Victoria. So part of our heritage, if you like, just reminding us perhaps of what Britain constituted 150 years ago. Just finished half an hour ago, so finished at 5:30. Right, very quick roundup. 36 finds found in 3.5 to 4 hours. 3 Victoria pennies there, only one of which was discernible. I think I mentioned the date. I think it was 1890 something. And George III, that one's 1807. The difference is in the size. So basically the George III ones are just 1.5 millimeters smaller in diameter, and they've got a slightly more raised rim, but broadly the same sort of format, with Britannia on the reverse of a farthing, either Victorian or Georgian, and a 1948 ship halfpenny with the what is it, the I can't remember the name of the ship, I'm sorry. A pot leg. The PAS put these anywhere between 12 and 1700. My suspicion is it's 1600s, because obviously if we got items from the 1700s like these tomback buttons, it's quite conceivable to have pots being used 100 years after they were made. Various bits of broken copper material, the lead weight, 2 20mm machine gun bullets, 1943 a stamp on one of those. So possibly used in a B-17 or the cannons in a fighter aircraft, but also from ground-based guns, so impossible to tell on that level. Got a horse brass, which is late 1700s, early 1800s. Various bits of lead, all from one portion of the field. And then the best piece, I forgot to mention, part of an 18th century shoe buckle, undecorated unfortunately, is this medallion. So Australia, India, South Africa and Canada, of course. And these were presented in 1897 to commemorate 60 years of Victoria, her reign from 1837 to 97, 60 years on the throne. She was 18 when she was crowned, and in fact she didn't die till January 1901. It says longest reign in England around the middle, in English history I believe. And yeah, that would have been, it's probably original, well it's certainly original. They were produced to commemorate that in 1897, so quite a nice find given that it's completely intact as well. I put hand soap on some of these things to stop them oxidising too much. Doesn't seem to cause much harm when it's Victorian material. I probably wouldn't use it if it was something slightly more rare. Well, these are rare, but yeah, there's limits to what you can apply to copper-based alloys without causing discoloration and so on. But hand soap is quite good. I didn't know if I mentioned that horse brass from late 1700s, early 1800s. And that's it, guys. I'll post the pictures up for you now and you can have a look at them in more detail.